Okay, let's get some more transfer news now. And this coming out of Spain, we can speak to the Spanish football journalist Alvaro Montero. Alvaro, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. There is, of course, an El Clasico friendly to look forward to in the early hours of tomorrow morning. We've just been talking about Robert Lewandowski. Could Barca's new signing be making his debut?
Hi, good afternoon. Yeah, for sure. Everybody's expecting that. Robert Lewandowski is going to make his debut for Football Club Barcelona. And in the Madrid way, they're speaking about Eden Hazard. After 3 years in Real Madrid, he had never played against Football Club Barcelona in a formal game, official game, or a friendly match like today in Las Vegas. So, yeah, both of them are going to be the most attraction because it seems that in Real Madrid, Benzema is not going to play. But yes, Robert Lewandowski, which was target number 1 for Football Club Barcelona this summer season, this transfer market, who was presented a few days ago in Miami, in Florida, in the United States, going to play for sure with Football Club Barcelona today if Xavi Hernandez decides that, which it seems that is going to happen.
Yeah, should be a really good game, that one. Look, Barcelona, despite their financial issues and much publicised financial issues, they've been very, very active in the transfer market, Alvaro. Just give us what your understanding is on the latest on Jules Kounde from Sevilla, because all the talk was he's going to Chelsea, but there are conflicting reports. What have you heard?
Okay, the story is this one. After signing Christensen, Kessie, Rafinha and Robert Lewandowski, target number 1 is a player for the defense. That is what Football Club Barcelona wants and what Football Club Barcelona needs. We've been speaking in the last days about Íñigo Martínez, Pau Torres, or even Azpilicueta, which is for sure a desire. But if you ask me myself, I will say that Jules Kounde is target number 1 for sure. After that, 2 days ago, the player refused to go with Sevilla Football Club to Lagos in the south of Portugal, in El Algarve, because he wanted to wait. But after that, he decided to go and to prepare with his teammates in Portugal. It is said, which is true, that there was an agreement between Sevilla and Chelsea around 75 million euros, I'm afraid, something like that. But inside Football Club Barcelona, they think, they believe, and they desire that the player wants to play for them. And it is said in Barcelona, here in Spain, that the player is waiting. So yesterday morning, 24 hours ago, it was quite tricky, this situation for Football Club Barcelona, because they thought that maybe the player was not going to be able to afford this pressure, and he was going to sign for Chelsea. But in the last hours, it's even closer than before. So now, if you ask, I will say that he's closer to sign for Football Club Barcelona than for Chelsea. But it's going to depend in the agreement between clubs and the player. But as I insist, inside the club, inside Football Club Barcelona, they believe and they know that Jules Kounde wants to play for them.
So you really believe that? You think that he's more likely now, as it stands, to go to Barcelona rather than Chelsea?
I believe that, but after, as you said, Barca has many economical problems. Yesterday, they activated this second palanca, which, as you know, it's an euphemism to speak about selling TV rights. 1 month ago, they had 200 million euros selling the 50%. Now it's another 15, 20%. So it's about 400 million euros. So they've got the money, and they've got the agreement with the player. But now Sevilla has to decide. Let's say, imagine that Chelsea pays more for the player than Football Club Barcelona. I guess Sevilla wants to sell the player to Chelsea. But if the player pressures and asks Sevilla to sell him to Football Club Barcelona, as we say in Spanish, the players play where they want. So it's going to be a tricky situation in the next, maybe not days, but maybe in the next hours. But yes, answering your question, I believe that the player wants to play in La Liga, stay here, and plays for Football Club Barcelona.
Goodness me, that could be a big twist, couldn't it? Just on Kounde, he's obviously very well respected in La Liga. He knows how to play in that league. But if he was to go to Chelsea, could he adapt to the Premier League? What kind of player is he?
Yeah, for sure. It's a very good player. It seems like Azpilicueta, he can play as a centre-back defender, even right-back defender. A very explosive player, in the best moments of Dani Alves. It's one of those players that can arrive perfectly to the box-to-box, to the other area, international with the French national team. Quite young. Here it's been a huge debate in the last days because many people inside Barcelona, all fans obviously, are saying, okay, Azpilicueta is an incredible player, but he's 31 years old, and Kounde is, I believe, 23. So that's quite different. Yeah, I will say it's a perfect match for Premier League, and he will play for sure perfectly in Chelsea.
Alvaro, we've seen Barca bring in Kessie, we've seen them bring in Christensen, then spend big money on Lewandowski and Rafinha. You've mentioned Kounde now, you mentioned Azpilicueta as well. Should we be looking out for any other signings? Are there any other names? The name Bernardo Silva keeps coming up.
Yeah, we've been speaking about Bernardo Silva also, but I will say Azpilicueta is a bigger target because of that. Barca needs players in the defense. They've been done with Christensen. They hope to do it with Kounde, but Azpilicueta, they believe it's a good opportunity in the market. But there is an economical problem, as we've been saying. For instance, and to be a good example, Barca in the month of August need to activate this third famous palanca, so they can have an income of 100 million euros. And with that money, they can register the players they've been signing, such as Lewandowski, such as Kessie, Rafinha, in La Liga, and also register the players that they've renovated in the last days, like Dembélé, which is almost a sign, and Sergi Roberto. So I will say that with this economical situation, it's going to be difficult to sign much more players. If Frenkie de Jong, for instance, leave, which with this third palanca, they don't need to sell it to Manchester United, he will stay. But signing another player, I will think it's a little bit risky for them.
You mentioned the name there, Frenkie de Jong. Manchester United fans will be hanging on your every word here, Alvaro. You think he might stay now? Where are we with this potential move to United?
It's almost something quite similar to what we've been speaking in the last 2-3 weeks. Manchester United want the player. There was an agreement between Manchester United and Football Club Barcelona. But the main problem for Manchester United is the player, because the player likes the opportunity. He obviously knows Manchester United is a huge club. Ten Hag is an amazing coach, especially for him. But he wants to stay in Spain, in Barcelona, in La Liga, and in Football Club Barcelona, which was his dream. So I will say the club asked Frenkie de Jong to leave because they need the money. Maybe Frenkie de Jong, as we've been saying, has to accept the situation. But Frenkie de Jong and his agent has explained, Xavi Hernandez and Joan Laporta and all the board members, I want to stay in the club. I want to stay in Football Club Barcelona. And as we've been saying with Lewandowski or with Kounde, the players normally play what they want. And if he wants to stay, he's going to stay. Sorry for Manchester United fans, obviously.
Yeah, you're bringing a lot of bad news for Chelsea and Manchester United fans here, Alvaro. Just one last question before you go. About a former Manchester United player, actually. He's currently at Barcelona, of course, Memphis Depay. What's his future? Could he leave?
Yeah, he could leave because he's not going to be an important striker. I mean, with Robert Lewandowski, with Rafinha, even with Dembélé, with Ansu Fati after his injury last year, he's not going to be even the second or the third striker for Xavi Hernandez. But they believe inside the club he's a good player. So it can be, depends on him. In the next days, if he believes he's not going to have an important role, he's not going to play an important role, and he knows he's not going to play good enough, or he's not going to have the minutes, maybe it's an opportunity for him to leave, and who knows if Premier League can be his destination. But I will say that Barca and Xavi doesn't mind, or do not mind letting the player leave, but it's going to depend on him for sure.
Alvaro, I'm sure Chelsea and Manchester United fans won't be thanking you for coming on, but I will. So, Alvaro, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.